All right, so I saw this tweet yesterday. Activision put out an update on Ricochet. Talked about 6,000 accounts being banned this weekend. Look, man, I don't have all the data in the background. Like 6,000 sounds like a lot, but in all actuality, it's probably like a drop in the bucket with how many people are cheating on this damn game. And, you know, they introduced Ricochet a couple years ago, and I feel like there's been small pockets of time where there hasn't been cheaters prevalent in every lobby you played in. You know, in Warzone 2, where they slowed everything down, and I played for a couple months last year, we don't know if it was Ricochet that was working or if people just didn't care enough about the game on all these like third-party external websites and forums where there was any interest to cheat in the damn game. Like, I don't think people cared enough about Warzone 2 to want to cheat in it. So it's hard to know if like Ricochet was actually working or if people just didn't have the time of day to give to this game. But now, for whatever reason, I think because they sped the game back up, you know, they kind of reverted all the changes they made where they slowed things down. They got rid of slide canceling, a lot of the movement and fluidity that we fell in love with Warzone 1. They got rid of that for Warzone 2, and now they brought it back. So I actually think Call of Duty's done a pretty good job of, for the first time ever, recognizing the mistakes that they made and just giving us exactly what we had before. Now, it's not like one-to-one. I'm sure you can still find some people who complain about like what Warzone was when it first was introduced compared to what it is now. But we're absolutely closer to Warzone 1 than we are Warzone 2 with how the game's set up today. And I think so, but maybe I'm wrong. I didn't play a lot of Warzone over the years, but the game feels fluid. So I think they actually have done a good job of giving us back what they had given us originally. So I'll give them points for that. I'll give them credit for that. Whether you want to or not, that's your own prerogative. Clive, thank you very much for the prime. But I started crafting this tweet, and it starts out, like, honestly, if you read this fucking tweet, the first part of it it's irrelevant. Like, it doesn't even need to be here. But that's because when I started writing this, I was like, yo, listen. If I'm working at Activision, or if I'm working at one of these dev studios, and I've seen it too by being on the back end in a similar position, not the same, but a similar position as like a developer or a business owner that relies on the community to help build their business up. A lot of streamers and creators speak in absolutes. Like, they will share very harsh feedback online as if they know exactly what needs to happen for a studio to fix their game. And I think a lot of times, like, their feedback is actually fair and justified, but the delivery is all wrong. You know what I mean? Like, do you think somebody who's working like as an engineer or any developer who's making like $150,000 a year, they're spending like 12 hours a day trying to fucking fix this game, upper management won't let them do all the creative things that they believe they can do to fix this game, and they're kind of just given marching orders and they have to go execute on those marching orders. And so if I'm sitting in their shoes and I see like a fucking streamer who's making a living off the game that I helped make, who's making so much money from it, and their entire brand and livelihood is built off the back of the game that they're building on the back end, if they're just sitting here like a fucking asshole saying like, yo, this sucks, fix it now, you piece of shit, like, it kind of sucks to read that, right? So when I first started crafting this tweet, I'm like, we're going to give them the feedback sandwich, bro. Because I do think there are positive things that Call of Duty has done. And some people will disagree with those positive things because they think we should have had those things to begin with. But like, I'm going to take a win anywhere I can get it. You know, people might not agree with me on the customization and the bundles that we have in Call of Duty. Do I think the structure of the store is still fucked up? Absolutely. Like, if you're going to sell these awesome camos, don't give it to us on a blueprint gun where we can only use it on one assault rifle and one SMG that's not even in meta. Like, you're giving us great aesthetics, great customization, but you're literally making us spend money on a gun that, like, we can't even pay rent with when we hop into a server. Like, we're just going to get slammed by the current meta. Like, we can't do it. Like, so from that regard, I think the customization still sucks. But from my perspective, like, when I see what Fortnite has done over the last 4 or 5 years, I fucking love switching up my gloves in this game and having like a purple aura oozing out of my arms. And I love these custom audio settings on this MCW. I'd like to switch up the fit. And I know that might sound fucking stupid, but if I'm playing this game 8 hours a day, I love having the flexibility to have new shiny toys just to make my experience a little different every single day. And we have never gotten that in Call of Duty history. We've never had that before. And even though it's a jumbled up fucking mess and the store's not perfect, they at least have answered the call for me. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to spend their hard-earned money on one single gun camo, one single operator that you can't even see unless you're in the lobby. But to me, I love that. Even if I wasn't fucking streaming this game 24/7 and I wasn't making money from playing the game, if I were just a fan sitting at home, would I be buying the bundles at the pace that I buy them at? No, I probably wouldn't be able to afford it. But like, if there was something good in the store that I have had my eye on for a couple weeks now, I'm going to pull the trigger because I like to spend money and improve the experiences on the things that I enjoy. Like, boys, you're going to realize when you get older, every guy needs a fucking hobby. And I'll tell you what, guys in general are very lucky because we got a lot of hobbies, bro. Like, my wife and my best friend's wife, like, all 4 of us have talked about it. Like, guys are lucky in this world because we got a lot of things that we can do, brother. Whether it's fucking golf, watching sports on the fucking weekend, football, baseball, basketball. We got video games. We got so many extracurricular activities. And you need hobbies, and you need to fall in love with hobbies. You're going to lose your fucking mind when you get older. Right? So I love the fact that Call of Duty has finally gave us all this customization. And then as I started typing the rest of this tweet out, I'm like, wait, hold on, bro. We actually do got to talk about this Ricochet. So I start off with some positive feedback, so that these devs on the back end would actually possibly listen. Because I'm coming here with some rational perspective. They've done some good things, man. They really have. You gave us movement back. Gunplay, I think, feels great in MW3. And in-game content, I think, has been great. Could it be better? Sure. But it's been pretty good. And Call of Duty's done a lot of things right this year. Like, maybe a year ago when they told us that we were going to be on the same engine, the same game, people were disappointed. But I actually think this engine's pretty damn good. Just from, like, a gunplay perspective, the movement, you gave us all back. Fuck yeah. But it is imperative in my mind that they fix anti-cheat. Now, I'm not an engineer. I can't understand the first, just even getting through the fucking door of what it takes on the back end to fix this anti-cheat. Like, if you think about Call of Duty and the sheer amount of people on the workforce that are building these games at Raven Software, Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and then Activision, brother, it must be impossible to get things done. Just the fucking internal communication alone. If you take the actual game out of the equation, that many fucking people, I don't think you guys understand how slow things probably move internally and how many layers of approvals and meetings and fucking, it gives me anxiety to think about it, bro. Like, I don't even understand how people work in upper management there because it's like all of those companies together, I feel like it's got to have a mind of its own, brother. It really does. And then when you bring the fucking game into the equation now, with all that complicated mess, Call of Duty has, like, expanded in every fucking direction. We've got Warzone. We've got zombies. We've got multiplayer. We've got 4 different studios working on this game. We've got a million fucking guns, which is why balancing is impossible. We've got them bringing in old maps while they're trying to make new maps. We got another team making all these wild-ass camos and operators. We've got rank play and resurgence. We've got a whole nother fucking Warzone map. We've got So many things, bro. Like Call of Duty with all these things in mind is just, I can't even imagine where they have to like retroactively fix this with an anti-cheat. It's probably unbelievably difficult. Hopefully that made sense. It makes sense in my head, but it's hard to convey and articulate the way I want to. My point is, like, it's not your job as a fan and a player to like understand and respect and rationalize their anti-cheat working. We just expect it to work. But man, it's probably like insanely difficult. Because while all of these companies are moving slow and the changes to Call of Duty are moving slow, all these independent third-party cheating websites, they can move fast, bro. They don't have these layers of approval and all these fucking people and hoops to jump through. They're just sitting here in fucking Russia or wherever the hell they're cooking these damn things up, and they're making these things as quick as they can. And every time Ricochet comes out with an update where they just spent the last 2 months trying to remove all these permissions and API access, and I'm probably not making any sense, but like they're fixing problems that they had 3 months ago where all the cheater companies are creating things to get past all the old shit they just did. Like the pace, they just can't keep up. I guarantee it. That's the problem. Whereas like if you look at Vanguard, which is Valorant's anti-cheat, they were building their anti-cheat from the ground up. That's why they have like this kernel access. This shit's above my pay grade, boys. I'm just trying to understand it as the common man. So, look, I genuinely believe, and they'll never do it, because at the end of the day, Activision has a bottom line, quarterly earnings. It's a public company. They have to continue to deliver on this fucking revolving door of bringing money and cash into the business. They got to sell the bundles. They need to sell a new title every year. Like, there's billions of dollars at stake. But if I were Call of Duty, clearly you still have a ravenous fan base that loves the game and wants to play it. You know, no matter how much bitching and complaining the community does, they keep coming back every single year. And that's a lot of the argument that's been made against this tweet. But if I were Activision, for the first time in my life, I would hit the fucking reset button, and I would actually make decisions for the community. And you're going to lose a little bit of money with this idea, but stick with me here. Bro, I would shut this fucking game down for the next month, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however long it takes. And I would use all the resources at my disposal to get Ricochet up to speed and to have it working at the level of which the community expects. Like, even if they shut down the game and do this exactly how I say it, I'm sure as soon as the game went live, these cheaters would catch back up and it'd probably be all for naught. But I'm just spitballing here where people are going to come back and play the game. And if money wasn't in the equation and revenue, it didn't matter at all, I would legitimately shut down the game for a couple months and get a full reset so that they can fix the anti-cheat as best as they possibly can. They invest a bunch of money on the back end to get these damn 8 tick rate servers that basically we've been playing on for the last 15 years and get us on this new shit that we get with Counter-Strike and Valorant and all of these hardcore competitive titles. Because at the end of the day, like, the community, I think, is stable. They're going to come back and play it. So why not just bend the damn knee, give us everything that we need from an infrastructure perspective to make the game as of a fluid experience as possible, and then go back to making all the money with the operators and the bundles and the new titles and everything. That's wishful thinking. It'll never happen. But, like, I just genuinely believe if they sat still for a moment in time and fixed a lot of the issues that have just plagued Call of Duty for the last 5 years, not only would it be, like, building goodwill with the community and show that they actually care beyond just the dollars that are coming into the titles, but it would make the next 5 years of Call of Duty that much better, because they're trying to do too much at the same time, bro. They're trying to build a new game. They're trying to fix the current game. They're trying to give us new in-game items. They're trying to give us features in these games that everybody's been asking for while they're trying to work on the anti-cheat, while they're trying to do this between 4 or 5 different studios. It's just, Call of Duty's too big for its own good. And I would love to see if they could slow it down, go back to basics, fix what needs to be fixed for the experience to be better as a clean slate, and then go back to doing everything that you're doing right now. I just think that there needs to be some way to take the complexity out of this entire ecosystem that Call of Duty is just tirelessly on, and somehow get us a refresh. The latter half of that conversation makes a lot of sense in my head. It's hard to convey it and articulate it like in a concise manner that I have it up here. But that's the best way I can describe it. And I know it'll never happen. But going back to this tweet, Coco4 Raccoons, thank you very much for the sub, brother. Timmy, thank you very much for the prime. Deadly Nut Cream, thank you. I had so many people tweet me like, stop buying the fucking bundles, bro. You're the problem. I'm like, dude, all these things that I just talked about, I have no ability. I have no jurisdiction to make any of these changes that I want. And then I got these guys in the fucking back end saying that I'm the fucking problem. First of all, don't tell me how I'm going to spend my cash. I want this fucking Alien Predator, Online Predator bundle. I'm going to buy that shit. And I can promise you that me stopping is not going to make a fucking difference. And you can argue that, like, well, if we got you and the rest of everybody else stop spending money and put it to them, stick it to the man where it hurts, sure. That shit is never going to happen, brother. So don't invalidate all the things I said because you think that I'm just fueling this fucking marketing machine. Bro, I don't have a fucking back-end relationship with Activision, brother. They're not sending me bags of cash to buy these fucking operators. I'm buying this out of sheer nerd, love, passion. Because I like to look cool in-game while I'm playing. And is that fucking pathetic? Depending on who you ask, they might agree. Sometimes I agree with you too. I don't fucking care, brother. I love seeing this fucking purple-green aura oozing out of my arms as I'm shooting this MCW. I love it. I'm not going to stop. I won't fucking stop. I'm not going to stop. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm allowed to have an opinion, and you're allowed to have yours too. I'm just putting out a message here. And I did something that a lot of people won't do. A little feedback sandwich. You start with something good, then you tell them what the problem is, and then you end it with a positive message as well. This is the only way to get anybody to even consider like addressing this or talking about it, whether publicly or privately. But when you come in all hot and bothered, acting like a piece of shit, saying just the most wildest statements where your entire livelihood is built off this game that they build, like you're not going to get anywhere by being a fucking sharp elbows, aggressive, and irrational. Like, This is how the world works, brother. Delivering a rational, grounded, logical message that's got some positives, because there are some positives, and then we tell them exactly how we feel about the negatives, and then you end it with something positive. You want to have a more constructive conversation with anybody in your life? Think about the feedback sandwich, bro. Start with something good, then tell them the problem, then end with something good. Human beings, without realizing it, respond much better when you deliver things the right way. All right? And whether you think it makes a difference or not, fuck it.
Let's get it.